You watched our video on serve return and you now know the serve return principle. The serve return principle that 10% of your development on serve return is learning to read the spin, read the location, read the depth. 40% is on your own balance, positioning, and timing, and loading the shot. And 50% is on the actual execution as far as the feel or action when you actually touch the ball. So I mentioned in the first video, this should give you a good encouragement, robot users, that yes, you do need to learn how to read the spin, but 90% of your improvement on serve return can actually be done with the robot. So that should be encouraging for those of you who are practicing at home quite a lot to realize that a lot of the development can actually come at home. When people have come for lessons during the last 16 years, one of the first questions that I ask them is, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And for sure, most people say for their weaknesses, it's serve return. So what do we work on in the lessons? We work on basic strokes. We work on balance, positioning, and timing. We work on generating more spin. We work on being able to hit to the desired location. And after about 45 minutes, oftentimes they say, well, I thought serve return was what we were going to work on. That is serve return. You see, as your basic strokes get better, as you're able to better adjust for the incoming ball, as you're able to find really good positioning with your feet, as you're able to choose what timing you want to play, then serve return becomes much, much, much more manageable. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the application of how do you practice it and how should be your response for different serves. Well, the one main thing that I have to recommend is when you're dealing with some really good deep serves that are coming, you really want to bend your knees down low and keep your hand high. Mentally, physically, emotionally gear up for the deep side spin, deep top spin, and deep no spin serves. You're actually going to loop those in a similar way. So your racket is high, body is low, and you're generating as much spin as you can over top of the ball. If you see some kind of action like this, or this, or this, or this, and you can tell, hey, it's backspin, then take your racket down with your body. But if you're unsure on the deep serve, guess no spin, side spin, or top spin by keeping your hand high and generating your own spin. The second principle is on short serves. If you see that the serve is short, move in first to the bounce and then decide the timing. A lot of times people will stay back, the serve goes short, and then from back here, they're trying to decide if they should use short push or long push or flip. So first go to the bounce and then you can decide short push or long push or wait and flip. So the principle for the short serve is get to the bounce as soon as possible. Also for the short serve, be very, very conscious as far as where the ball bounces. A lot of smart players will serve the same spin every time, but change depth or change the timing of the serve. You need to be adjustable for that. And the third principle is on half-long serves. On half-long serves, what do you really need to be able to do? Well, first thing you need to be able to do is recognize that it's half-long and move there. And then once you're there, start with your hand above the table. If it is half-long, then you can go down. If it's short, then you can still play push or flip over the table. Same principle with backhand. The serve comes half-long, you measure it from here and then go down if you need to. Many players wrongly put their hand down and then they get stuck when the ball goes 2 bounces or they give weak quality. So those are 3 principles for serve return. But the main thing, the main principle I just have to keep hitting home is the stronger your footwork, the stronger your own strokes. The more you're giving real shots, real spin, real strokes, the less your opponent's spin is going to affect you. So a lot of people watching this video will summarize in a wrong way. They'll summarize and say, okay, so Samson's saying that it doesn't matter the spin, I can just generate my own spin and overcome it. Well, the spin does matter. So you need to try to do your best to actually watch and read it, but realize that memorizing how to return this serve, 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 and understanding all the thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of combinations is impossible. So instead of getting too confused with the motion, focus 90% of your efforts right now as your game's developing on developing real strokes. When the serve comes long, you have the option to play chop or loop. That's it. Block on long serve is not an option. When the serve comes short, you have the option to play push or flip. Most of the errors on serve return don't come from a lack of reading the spin. They come from a lack of you generating your own spin. I would recommend that you do get a coach. No matter how good your robot is, no matter how ambitious you are, if you don't have a coach that's working with you, at least on a monthly basis, you're kind of out there, possibly lost, possibly practicing some things that aren't going to be that helpful for you. So if you value your time and you want to have the most efficient training possible, I'd recommend you get a coach in your area. Also, I do online lessons, and there's a number of other coaches worldwide that do online lessons. Here at PowerPong, we care not only about selling robots, but about giving you a good experience. So we want to make sure that you're training with the right drills. We want to make sure you have the right themes, and we want to make sure that you have measurable results in tournaments. So if you have questions about online coaching, go ahead and reach out to me. If you have questions about which robot to buy or how you should be using it, make sure you reach out to me as well. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.